Welcome to the Sloth Mole Analysis. This is what this video is going to be called, or something like that. Okay, I don't care if you don't
No,
like it.
no, it's not. It's going to be called something else, anything else apart from that.
Either way, this intro is gonna say Sloth Mole Analysis, so they'll know it deep in their hearts. Right. So this video is a bit different to our typical video. We're just gonna go over like games you've played over in the past, and then we're gonna give our thoughts on it. Maybe even drop.
We're going to criticize the shit out of them.
Exactly. So first up, we should mention Bigfoot. This is the
Bigfoot.
first game literally the first game we played on our channel, and it surprised me to find that out. Because we've recorded a ton in the past, but we never actually posted any of it, and we never really enjoyed it
the one we
enough
actually had the most to post.
Exactly. And
I mean, it didn't go as we planned, but it worked out.
So Bigfoot.
Anyway, so what do you think about Bigfoot one? It's obviously your favorite game.
No,
you were the hero in Bigfoot, weren't you?
I was what?
The hero.
Yeah, I was the hero. Yeah, the big hero. But first, let's talk about the actual stats of it. Like, how much is Bigfoot in terms of pricing?
Oh, and a unique kingdom, it's £12.39.
Pounds, yeah.
So it's actually quite expensive.
So in Canadian dollars,
for what it is.
For Canadian dollars, it's a shit ton, right?
Yeah.
That's the conversion. Shit ton. Right.
Yeah.
So I mean,
what I liked about it was it was a hunting game. I quite like hunting games, and the map is really big. So
I'm not as into hunting games as you are, but I definitely found it was interesting change. You don't play them too often.
You can kind of get immersed into the world.
That's what I loved, to be honest, because the environment was.
You get really immersed into hunting Bigfoot down, and then he appears, and then you kind of lose that immersion because he's really janky. He's really.
Yeah, he's not that terrifying. Actually, I don't know about that, because I feel like we were screaming when we played.
If he appears out of nowhere, he's scary.
Yeah.
But when you're watching him from a drone or something.
Yeah, he looks kind of stupid.
He just looks goofy.
And the way he walks, I don't know, something's wrong with him. Like, he has diarrhea or something constantly.
Something else I don't like about it was that it was really difficult. For no reason other than just to make it longer, I suppose.
The game itself.
We wasted all of our bullets and all of our equipment trying to kill him, and we weren't even a quarter of the way down.
If you think about it,
to kill him.
Yeah, if you think about it, like besides the map and the weapons and just Bigfoot itself, there's not that much content to the game. That's why I think they're just trying to prolong it. But the map's gigantic though, so at least there's that.
They could have filled it with more stuff, or what they could have done is they could have given Bigfoot more, make him less random, make him possible to track down and to study him and figure out where he's going to go next, stuff like that.
Exactly, you said that.
Make him go
and
get a drink.
Too.
Make him go and get a drink from the river. Make him hunt down an animal to eat it. Things like that.
Because all he did was just walk around, as far as you know. And then you wouldn't see him that often too.
When he was running away, he just looked really silly when he was running away from us.
I don't understand why he was even running, because we were barely doing any damage towards him, right? And he's Bigfoot.
We would shoot a bullet, right? And he would just kind of a limpy sprint away.
Man,
it was like that. It was like that Forrest Gump gif with him running.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know, man.
But overall, I would probably give the game about a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, we mostly agreed. We've agreed with literally all of the ratings we're about to give. So So whenever we give a review, it means we came to conclusion.
Yeah, so it's not awful. I'm sure it could be fixed in the future, but right now,
if they improve the equipment, I can see it going up a grade. I think just the equipment alone. All right.
So next game,
Lost in Vivo. Ooh.
Oh, Lost in Vivo. This is one of my favorite games.
Is it the first single player game we've played on our channel? I think it is.
Yeah, I had the wonderful idea of letting Mo watch over Discord.
Mm-hmm. And at this
I
time,
mean,
it
it was
worked
so
with this
unique.
game compared to other games we're watching over Discord.
Okay, so Lost in Vivo is £9.29, which is quite cheap for what it is in my opinion. Because there is a lot to the game.
Yeah, this game is very good in my opinion. It's also one of the reasons why it's probably the most long-standing series we played. I'm convinced it is.
I think it's the only game we've completed.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, some of the games that we played can't even be completed.
Yeah, like Escape the Ayuwoki, we can't beat that for some reason.
That's true. But like, we'll give it a try. Like that video is still coming on, right? We had a video before, but something happened. Okay, I'm not gonna get into details.
Okay, so one of the best things about Lost in Vivo is its soundtrack, and its ambience and its sound design. It's absolutely amazing.
I think it might have either the best soundtrack or like the second best. It's just that good of all the games you played.
The way the sound design is that once you hear like something in your headphones, it kind of sounds like it's actually coming from that direction. And part of the game's mechanics is using whistling to get your dog to bark for you, and then you have to go to where the bark's coming from.
Exactly, and also there's like all these weird glitchy sounds, experimental. It makes you like, it makes you kind of like shiver sometimes, you know.
Other interesting aspects of the monster design. They all look really cool.
They all look really cool, but you know, we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about the positives now. I don't want to hit you too hard.
There's no jump scares either. All of the scares are come from the ambience and build up. There's no jump scares whatsoever.
True.
Which is really rare for a horror game these days. And even once you complete the game.
Because we think jump scares are like pretty cheap scares.
Yeah, true. Yeah, even when you complete the game, you still have other modes you can go into, which add some extra shit for you.
There's also the story. The story was pretty darn good. Like, to be fair, at some points I'm like confused as to what was going on because it was left to interpretation. Like, I like the initial setting; it's great, and there's all these like lore in it. It's all well built.
Yeah, it's one of those games you can sit down and make a theory about. Always fun. Yeah, so what didn't you like about it?
What I didn't like about it, so it was back to the monster design. It's how the monsters act. So
the AI.
Yeah, exactly. Just same thing as Bigfoot when you actually think about it. That's one of the same problems. Just the AI.
I mean, they were all fairly easy to deal with.
Yeah, you could just walk past them and you're done.
Once you learn, you just kind of run past them. Like
seriously, like once you see him once, the first few times you see him scary, and you realize, oh, I can just run past them.
Yeah,
just faster.
The combat isn't that great. I mean, it's mostly just your spam clicking. We didn't even use the guns for most of the story because we wanted to conserve ammo, and the guns were fucking useless. They were just useless. There is like a block option for when you're fighting with melee. But I didn't use that at all because it was more effective just to spam click.
Yeah, offense was the best defense.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the secrets and shit? Like I remember you wrote a point, secrets are obscure. Is that referencing to like how some modes are hard to unlock? Like they don't tell you.
Oh yeah, true. The modes we had to go Google it to unlock modes because we just didn't really.
I mean, there's a lot of modes.
There was no hints to the game.
There's a lot of modes. They're all meticulously made. They're great sound design, all that shit, great graphics. Yeah. But the problem is like some of them you just can't unlock unless you just either get lucky completely or just search it up.
Yeah, like the dark mode, there was no way you're gonna figure it out on your own.
Exactly.
There's no one who's gonna load up the game by setting the gamma to 0. There's no way anyone's gonna do that.
What? Come on, man.
That's how you unlock dark mode.
That's how what I always do. Man. I put the gamma to -2.
Jesus Christ. So what would you rate the game?
An 8 out of 10. Because it's fantastic.
Yeah, I would agree.
Fantastic game. So next up, your favorite game, Escape the Ayuwoki.
Okay, I mean let's try to be nice.
Well, I'm telling you right now, trying to be nice is not gonna work out, right?
Yeah, okay, so the game is £11, £39.
I think the game looks nice. It's there's nice graphics and stuff.
It's alright, yeah.
Yeah, the sound design, like the just like the whole thing of like sound being like an instrumental point of the game. It's fantastic. It's very
I got
interesting.
annoying pretty fast though, I would say.
Yeah. That backfired. Like at first it was interesting, but then I think they went a bit too far with the sound. Like they made it too sensitive to sound.
And it didn't really make sense because he would react to some sounds but not react to others.
Exactly. So like
So it
if
was,
exactly, but if they decreased his sensitivity to sound, then maybe at least those discrepancies would be less visible.
there is the option to run, but if you do that, you just die straight away. There's really no point to running.
Oh, that was the most retarded thing ever. Like, I would never run it. I can't
You
even
just
imagine
kind
a
of
scenario where you
crouch
would,
for it.
unless he's like across the map or something.
Yeah. Another thing I don't like about it was how random the puzzles felt. Because, I mean, it's just really stupid, really.
They didn't really tie into the game much.
Unless
didn't add
you
anything of substance.
see, the thing is, the game had to rely on making certain things glow to get you to pick it up, because otherwise you were never going to think to pick it up, because the level design was so bad.
True.
It wasn't designed to be a puzzle. It was designed to make it go look for whatever glows, and then to put it into something that also glows.
Exactly. So yeah, it's very easy to miss. Because I remember at one point we straight up missed one of them, and it's only by going back that we noticed. It was just a way of like artificially increasing the length of the game, in my opinion.
Speaking of that, the way the AI designed is to kind of be glued to you. Because even though he's kind of walking around doing his own thing, and he's supposed to only come when you make a sound, he's obviously designed in such a way to keep always close to you, so that if you make even one mistake, you die like that.
And that led to like an extremely slow gameplay, like mixed in with the whole puzzle thing. Even though the puzzle was actually one of your favorite things about it at first. I remember like the first map.
That was like one puzzle though. I quite like that puzzle.
Yeah.
Even though it was quite long.
And
then
it went downhill.
That was the only proper puzzle. Everything else was just find A, put in B.
Yeah, and that one made more sense too, because I felt like it was like doors to like different children's rooms, and you're trying to. I mean, that's my interpretation of it.
My God.
Isn't that what you thought it was? That's what I thought it was.
I just kind of thought it was like trap souls or something.
No, I thought it was a different kids. That was the kids, dude. We're trying to open the doors, free them. I think the goal was either to freeze them or close them. I forgot what.
We had to close them, so we were trapping them.
Yeah.
We were feeding.
We were buying time for ourselves. Duh.
Oh my God. Yeah, the story was really boring. Very lackluster. The voice acting was.
Yeah, it was funny. It was interesting, at least, the voice acting. Sometimes
there was like 5 different nationalities in one tape. You don't know where the game's taking place.
I think all voice acting was done by like 2 guys or 3 guys at best. I think very small team, and they were just changing the voice to like really bad accents. Yeah.
No, they were like Australian at first, then they went to like French.
Oh yeah, those are like the most stereotypical like accents you can do. They're the easiest like accents you can do. Like, come on.
So I mean, I would rate the game just a 5 out of 10, but even then, I think that's generous.
Especially because of the lack of like hints and direction of the game itself.
Oh, we haven't even spoken about the utter mess that we had with it. We've completed it.
Yeah.
But it didn't record properly. For some reason, it just didn't record properly. So then we have to go back and do it all again. Well, not all of it, we just have to do the last one again.
Maybe, my guess is maybe, and this is like being generous to the game itself, maybe I like forgot to set the game capture to escape the Ayuwoki, but I doubt that's what happened, because I would have seen that right away.
Yeah, that just seems like a coincidence.
Yeah.
Anyway, either way, 5 out of 10, next game.
Risk of Rain 2.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
So first off, this game is £14.99, and let me tell you that it's definitely worth it. The game is kind of based around having the different characters, and the way they're all, it's not like other roguelikes where the characters are generally the same, just with slight differences in stats and stuff. All of the characters in this are designed to have a completely different gameplay mechanic.
And it's designed in a very creative way. It's not like the characters are boring. Like, it's not like the characters don't make sense, or like they just took like a trope or something, some type of cliche, and then just made it into a class. Like warrior class or vampire class. No.
Each of the characters plays a completely different role from the others. So that's one of the biggest points.
Like, it's actually hard for me to choose a favorite character in that game.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to how well the characters are actually made.
I don't think there's a boring class. Even the boring class, the most boring class,
it's still better than most games.
Yeah, it's fun to play. The Commando's still fun to play.
Yeah, like if any other game had like the Commando, or what's it called, the Commando in it, they would be considered lucky.
There's it basically just, it's constantly getting harder, so you're constantly trying to keep up with the monsters getting stronger.
I think that makes things a lot more interesting, because you also have to, it's like there's some threat assessment involved. So should I clear it as fast as I can, or should I take as many items as I can? Usually the best thing is to
you have to be smart when you're playing, otherwise you'll die quite quickly.
Exactly.
And there's also a ton of things you can unlock. It's absolutely insane how much stuff there is.
And that's one of the things that makes the game even more like intelligent, I guess, the more strategic, because like there's all these different combinations of characters, loadouts, items, and you gotta like think which.
Probably the best thing about the game is that this is the only game that I've ever played where items can stack up the way they do.
Oh yeah, that's great.
In other roguelike games, you have a lot of items, but they never stack.
If you do have a bunch of items, they just kind of like, they become wasted.
Just take Binding of Isaac, for example. If you pick up an item, that item's the only one in the game. You don't get to pick it up again. You don't get to stack the effects.
Exactly.
But in this, if you pick up a double jump item and you pick up a second one, you have triple jump. If you pick up a third, you have quadruple jump.
Not to say that some items aren't stackable, because I think like there was like for example, there was this flying item. I forget what it was called. Now I don't think that one's stackable, but
they're active items, so they're items.
The equipment,
yeah, equipment.
Equipment don't stack, yeah, that's true.
Most things can be stacked, so it's going to be hard to find an item you don't like, unless you're me and you don't like a lot of items.
Interesting. Well, like that, all of it adds like a lot of gameplay potential. You could be playing this game for a really, really long time.
Yeah, I've got 100 hours so far.
I mean, you're kind of addicted to this game at this point, aren't you?
Yeah, really addicted to gameplay.
I mean, I really like the game too, but I just prefer to play it a few.
I make everything better.
There's a variety of everything in the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Just go buy it, go play yourself.
Okay, the issues.
There's not a lot.
We're actually struggling. So
I mean, there's a small handful of useless items that exist in the game. But then again, that's not really a problem, is it? You just don't pick them up, or even if you do pick them up, they're not really gonna ruin your run, are they?
Yeah, they're better than like not having anything. So you'd still get some benefit to it, but there's also like sometimes you might want to avoid this item, or you can just eventually just replace it, man. Like with the
I'm a bit confused though. I wrote down here few connections. What does that mean?
I think that was referring to, like, remember the connection issue we had? I think it's happened once or twice, where we just played and we just disconnected.
Oh, I haven't included that. I meant it went in a few connection issues. Okay, we've had a couple of connection issues.
It kind of actually ruined it for us there. Like, I remember one of them, we were actually getting so far.
We got one on video actually, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a bit annoying, but it doesn't happen that often.
We just disconnected for no reason.
Alright.
So yeah, I mean, overall, I would give it 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Well, like,
it's a really good game.
The only reason it doesn't have a 10 out of 10, Actually, I don't even know because I think it's just that's
I don't think a
possible.
perfect game exists. I would never give it a
Exactly.
10 out of 10, I don't think.
I can't think of a single 10 out of 10. The probably highest I would go is like, I don't know, 9.8, 9. I'll go into decimals if I have to.
9.9999.
I go into decimals if I have to. Alright.
So, next game.
Minion Masters, and this is a game that Martin's way more familiar with than me. Obviously, I played a ton of hours in it too.
I'm gonna go check how many hours I've got on this. I've got a lot more since we last spoke. 324.
What? No way.
that's how many hours I've lost to this game.
I mean, he's played this
And
game more than I've played some MMOs. Just to put that in perspective.
Right, so this game is free.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially a card game where you need to put down actual minions that move on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And you can play spells and stuff. And it's real time instead of turn based, so it adds some extra elements to it. What I like about it is that there's quite a lot of content. There's a lot of card options. There's some different character options as well. Quite a good amount.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an update every 3 months ish. A quite big update every 3 months or something. The visuals are quite nice, and the gameplay is fairly addictive. You can lose some hours to it.
For sure. When I noticed, there was a lot of transactions within the game.
Yeah. See, a lot of people will say that it's a good game because it's not pay to win.
Mm-hmm.
But someone with 324 hours, disagrees. It's definitely pay to win.
I mean, weren't you like a really high rank too? At one point?
I was Grandmaster.
Yeah, that's... Ooh, you see that?
I know.
I was super Grandmaster, but like... but like, yeah, I
So it's definitely pay to win.
Mm-hmm.
See, the way it works is, well, you can technically get everything for free without paying.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously done in such a way that you're kind of influenced to pay if you want to progress, because there's some cards that are definitely better than others.
Exactly.
And you're going to have a tough time getting them if you don't pay. There's also a lack of any realistic strategy. Because it's a bit like rock, paper, scissors, how you take your deck into the match and just hope they don't have a counter to you. Or you hope you can counter them.
Because the decks are actually kind of small. Even 10 cards. Was it 10 cards?
10 cards plus master.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot, but when you actually think about a card game, and then you go in with 10 cards.
I know.
That adds
It's because it's supposed to be fast paced, but but you know that
doesn't
kind
make
of limits your strategy options.
Exactly. Doesn't make sense. You could still have like way more cards and still be fast paced. I think. Just a matter.
I should probably remind people that rock, paper, scissors isn't a strategic game.
That's not.
It isn't.
It's luck.
It's just pure luck. So overall, I would probably rate it like 6 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only because it's free. If you had to pay for this game, it would be like 3 out of 10 or something.
Ooh, interesting.
This is
the lowest rating we get. Damn, interesting.
This is the game that you would just play when you have nothing else to play. And it really shows.
The price is definitely a selling point. Even though like all the new content is made so to make you want to pay more money. But, man, it's some EA type shit going on here.
Yeah.
They want to get you to get all the expansions.
Alright, next game.
Streets of Rogue. Ooh.
Oh, spooky.
This is also one of Marvin's favorite games. Like at this point, it feels like every game is your favorite game on this list.
I've just been convincing you to play the games I like.
True. He can't handle the games I like, basically.
Let me summarize what this game is.
Uh-huh.
This is a weird game. This is imagine GTA.
Yep.
Binding of Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
GTA Binding of Isaac, Saints Row, and a bunch of other like retro style games.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have like a big orgy.
Mm-hmm.
And out comes this amalgam of different parts. It's really disgusting, baby.
Oh yeah.
And you have
disgusting in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're just like it's a roguelike. So you just try and get to the next stage as quickly as you can. There's all these interesting characters to choose from, which like makes it a lot less repetitive.
Yeah, there's about I forgot how many. There's like 30 odd characters to pick from.
I don't think you even have a favorite character, do you? Do you have
I
like?
like the mobster. I like the mobster character more. I
Oh
do
yeah.
have a favorite
Oh.
because the mobster, you can go around and you can go and like force businesses to pay you protection money.
Yeah, you see, like they have all these
Just like
fun
that, look,
mechanics.
just little mechanics like that add on to it.
I remember like how much I messed up too. Like I would do something and I would like the entire world
Surely
would
easy.
pay for it.
Surely easy to mess your entire run up.
It's an open world game, so
Yeah. It's
what else?
non-linear as well. You have quests that you need to progress to the next stage, and you can really choose how you do them, however you want. If you want to sneak in, you can do that. If you want to bribe someone, you can do that.
Exactly.
If you want to just like go in guns blazing, you can do that.
Exactly, and you can still mess around on the side and do things that aren't related to the quest. So
Yeah, there's also some non-essential quests that are scattered around as well. So just some optional ones get some extra nuggets.
What else? Oh, the custom characters.
Oh yeah.
I mean, mixed in with the large amount of items and traits, there's a lot of like possibility for customization, for personalization.
Yeah, I made Mole once.
Yeah, I remember. It was accurate.
This is little naked. If I could find a picture, I'll put it on the screen. So, the downsides is that there's not a lot of negative traits that you can apply to custom characters. That kind of limits you, because the way it works is the custom characters have a point limit, and once you reach a point limit, you have to give them negative traits if you want to add more stuff. Because negative traits bring the points down.
Oh yeah, true.
And there isn't a lot of options, so if you want to have negative traits on your character, it kind of gets repetitive in that aspect. The amount of quest figs actually exists in the game are quite limited as well, aren't they?
Yeah, there's
I mean, they're fun to do.
They're fun to do,
there was more.
I wish there was more types and quests and shit. I mean, but the biggest problem for us was the connection issues.
Oh my god.
Like, oh my god, literally, like every time we played, we would eventually have a connection issue. And it's not just us, like we searched it up and it seems to be a common problem.
We did get lucky when we did video on it, but
if you played single player, you won't even have these connection issues to begin with.
Sure.
So it's not a complete horrible thing.
It's not huge.
Yeah.
We eventually got it working, but
exactly.
You know,
what score would you give this?
Oh, 8 out of 10, definitely.
Oh yeah. White Noise 2. Oh, now let me start us off on this one.
Alright. First off, the price is £6.99.
So that's cheap. What's good about this game? This was the hardest part, trying to decide what's good about the game. It's gonna be interesting once you hear our points. Okay, so we have.
Before you go on, Mo, I just want to add that White Noise 2 has £9.54 worth of DLC.
Oh my god.
That's more than the game costs.
Oh my god. That's.
Right, so continue.
Okay, so what's good about the game? So the game looks nice. Like it looks like the environment looks nice. I think that's the main thing. Like some of the characters, like.
Just probably specify if it's just the environment to look nice.
Okay, yeah, just
things that don't look nice.
Yeah, just the environment. The environment looks nice. That's for sure. The monsters are interesting. Like they've been created in a way. Yeah, exactly. They've really exercised their imagination right there. And then the last point, good thing.
The only really good feature I think is like once you actually complete the match, there's a little map thing at the end.
Map thing. That's really one of the only few. It shows you exactly where you went through the map. I think that's amazing. I've never seen that in any other game.
It was a White Noise one as well. And it was my favorite part of White Noise 1, ironically.
Do you think White Noise 1 was better than White Noise 2?
I mean, I haven't played it since I was like a kid.
Okay, so that's it's definitely gonna be way better than you remember.
I do remember liking it, but I don't know. It's hard to judge from modern standards.
Yeah. So the next point is something you wrote. What the actual fuck were the characters?
Yeah, I literally just wrote down what the actual fuck were these characters. They were disgusting characters.
Every
Disgusting.
single one of them were disgusting in its own specific way. There's one of
They
like
all had,
slouching, really gremlin walking. Then one that looked like a ugly ass nose face, and she had a camel toe. I swear, I zoomed in and I saw a camel toe. And then the black guy, he had this kind of weird nose, and he had like these shoulders that looked like they were like triangle, like a pyramid.
He looks like he was wearing like an American football outfit.
Yeah.
Under his suit.
Yeah, he had like padding on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were just insane. They were actually so bad.
Mhm.
And their facial expressions too. Did you get a good look at them?
Yep.
They were
That was
really
even worse than the characters themselves at some points.
They looked like they all had PTSD.
Yeah. I mean, if I was chased by a monster, I would probably have PTSD too. Right. So the game was boring and repetitive. So
Yeah,
I think there might have been a story thing going on, never really caught on.
Yeah, I don't think there was.
I don't know. Regardless,
The game is basically just Slender. It's Slender, except you're not looking for pages. You're looking for tapes.
or whatever. Was it? No, was it tapes?
Yeah, tapes.
Tapes again. Interesting.
That's why whenever you find one, it played something back.
I actually never found one.
Yeah, I found them up. I was too good.
No, the problem was I was fighting. I was 1v1ing. Like as soon as I was looking for them, you randomly Mo, I'm captured. I was like, oh come on.
You were just taking your big shoulders to fight your monster off.
Exactly. I was 1v1ing him, like Mike Tyson.
when you were the Asian woman, the monster was scared of you. They just saw you hobbling along and just needed to fuck off. Right, back to the list here.
Yeah. So there's two main
As
DLCs.
I mentioned before, most of the monsters are DLC locked. Most of the good ones, at least.
Which is a shame. I mean,
Yeah, there's
It's a terrible
954 worth of DLC. That includes some characters.
I remember there was even like cosmetics DLC locked. If I was them, I would just done that. Just have the cosmetics DLC locked, not like the
Funnily
monsters,
enough,
because
I
you're
don't
just
think-
restricting your gameplay.
Funnily enough, the cosmetics aren't DLC locked. You unlock them by playing the game.
Oh, really? Then I think
It's
it should be
the-
the opposite then. It should
Yeah,
be
exactly.
the
There's also
cosmetics
two
videos.
characters.
Yeah.
There's also two characters who just look really.
Yeah, the
Look at this,
goals
Mo.
were unclear.
Look at this.
What?
Just look at him. He looks like he belongs in Escape Ayuwoki.
Oh my god. As I
So
was
yeah,
saying,
there's way
like
too
the,
many DLCs.
the
The goals
were
are fairly.
Mm-hmm.
What were we saying? I just kind of started talking over you there.
I said the goals were unclear. Like,
I said that.
oh, you said that?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it was hard to figure out what to actually do.
Yeah.
It took a while because we just kept getting killed. I think we were getting killed
Yeah.
too many times. Honestly, the monster were just too present, surprisingly.
Yeah. That was a big problem. It made it really not scary.
Mm-hmm. And then there was probably the worst connection issue we've had in any of these games. And keep in mind, we have Ayuwoki on this list. We have Street on this list. Like, come on, this connection issue was so bad that like it took the first time we could. Oh my god!
I had to cut out 20 minutes of the video
Yeah.
just because we spent all of that
The first
we
time we
spent all
bought
of
this
that
game was
trying
like
to figure out the connection issues.
exactly, and the first time we bought this game was like in 2019 or 2018, and we haven't been
Yeah.
able to get it to work until now.
Yeah, I think pretty sure
stop.
we played it. We tried to play it once.
Hmm
Then we couldn't connect,
We were convinced that it wouldn't work.
so we just gave up.
Yeah.
And then we forgot about it. And then we decided, hey, let's try again. And that's why we've played it.
So
We got it working well, but it just took way too long. Longer than anything else we've done.
there was literally I remember there was literally 12 people playing online
Yeah.
for good reason. Because
A
this
very
is literally the worst game we've played out of all
Yeah.
of them, in my opinion.
So what about this rating, Mo? What do you think it'll be?
A 2 out of 10.
A whole 2 out of 10. Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Once we first talked about that, we were like, "Oh, that's kind of ruthless." and we thought about it, like, wait a second.
I can't think of much that's good, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It was a real struggle to think of something that was good about this game. So, the last game we got to talk about today, well, the last proper game.
The last proper game. We need to go deeper. So, this game, we're pros. We gotta mention this because we gotta we gotta flex a bit. Alright, so how much is the game?
This game costs £12.39.
I mean, that's a good price considering the game.
Yeah, considering how long you're gonna be on it.
Yeah, the game gets regularly updated. Nice visuals, nice sound, all of that shit. Like all of it.
Yeah, it's just a genuinely fun game.
Mm-hmm.
So the game, we should probably explain.
Mm-hmm.
You're essentially in a submarine with some friends or bots, wherever you decide, and the goal is to get as deep as you can. So the art style of this game, I think, is particularly good, just because it's really unique and.
Oh yeah, it stands out.
It just looks fun.
It stands out.
And then
there's also the enemies, like while you're trying to reach.
Some of them
the bottom
are quite scary, aren't the enemies?
Yeah.
Like the blobfish, I remember I'm just kind of like coming out of them.
Bro, that was very interesting. I remember there was like this fairy. Remember? It was like a fairy.
Yeah.
It wasn't the enemy. That was strange.
She just kind of hung around. I'm pretty sure that was something to do with Christmas. I don't know why. I found out the rats were Christmas. They were Christmas enemies.
Really?
For some reason.
The game is procedurally generated, so it
Yeah.
doesn't get stale. It doesn't get repetitive. Oh, just go down here, go this way. No.
Yeah. You can also come across like different civilizations, and you can choose how you interact with them. You can either kill these civilizations to get all of their stuff, or you can be nice and buy it from them.
Most often than not, just not killing them is the best choice, considering what we learned over the years.
Yeah, I mean, some of them deserve to be killed, right? Did you see the way those eel things looked? They don't deserve to be alive.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a generally fun game, but
let's talk about the downsides.
It's got some downsides. Most of the unlockable items, you normally start with a wrench, but you can unlock different items, are kind of useless. I mean, there's really no reason why you shouldn't just start with a wrench.
Fair enough.
There's really no reason why you shouldn't.
I remember even like the potion that you love so much, and it actually looks very fun. Even then, you were like, at some point, you're like, okay, I'm gonna take the wrench now because it's better.
Yeah.
It's more consistent. Yeah.
I mean, you find like medkits and stuff like that, but none of that is useful in so many situations as a wrench is.
I mean, there wasn't many ships.
Oh, there's like 3 ships, isn't there?
There's like 3. That's not good when you're playing a submarine game. You'd expect a bit more. Imagine they're not easy to make.
Yeah, we've played similar games, things like not on the channel, but things like Pulsar, Lost Colony, Barotrauma, and other crew-based games, and they all have quite a lot of ship options because that's kind of what the game is. If you're going to be spending the entire game in the ship, I would expect more options.
Downside of it is I don't think the game is that addicting, right?
Yeah, it's one of those games you play every now and then. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not really a good thing either.
Which is why we gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So let's briefly talk about Kingdom. Let's mention it quickly because
we haven't really got too far in Kingdom, have we?
No, that's why we're gonna refrain from actually reviewing it too much. Seems fun. There were some issues. Like at first, I thought it might end up being one of my favorite games ever, but I'm like, there's some issues with it. So we'll see. We'll see how it.
Yeah, there were some glitches with
it. AI. That game is just
AI Dungeon. That is a fucked up game.
it's like too random for us to even review, because like everyone's experience would change so much.
I think the best way you can think about that game is to go watch a video on it. It's essentially a story-based. No, not a story-based, sorry. A procedurally generated story.
Yeah, exactly. So there's an AI and everything interesting. And then you construct the AI construction.
To put it into perspective, we became kings after we told the monster to fuck the entire village to death. And then we got, like, touched up by an old man or something.
I mean,
it just kind of went haywire.
It was great because, you know, I remember when growing up, I always loved those text adventures, like especially the book ones, right? You would just, okay, go to this page, now go to that page.
Yeah, it was
Basically that, but like
except-
procedurally generated.
Yeah.
So that was fantastic. What else? And then we had the IO games. We played a lot of them.
Yeah,
Um,
there was
that
a
one
couple of them.
spaceship one that really stood out. I think that's the only
Cosmos
one you
was-
play still.
Yeah, I still play Cosmos.
Cosmos.
It's just a fun game. It's like faster than light, except without it being turn based. So
True. There's a lot of like concept. There's a lot of like aspects of the game. So it's very interesting.
yeah, you build your own ship and you control it. You can control like separate parts of the ship as well. Like you can choose where one gun shoots.
And with this
Then you go
game,
in and you can,
there was a ton of different ships, like a ton of different.
oh, there was a lot.
A lot.
I mean,
yeah.
we didn't even create our own. We just
Yeah, you
we
could
just used-
create your own. We just didn't feel the need to.
white noise could not white noise. Fucking hell. I tried to make a joke, but I said
We
it
need
wrong.
to get deeper. Yeah. Because White Noise
We need
has
to go deeper. We need to go deeper and learn from this game.
White Noise has made such a bad impression on you that like every bad thing.
I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized.
It's like White Noise can prove from these ships, can improve their ships. I'm like, wait a second.
So what's your favorite game we've played so far?
Without a doubt, it's Risk of Rain 2. Not
Is it?
even close.
What?
Not
I
even
think
close.
my favorite game would be Lost in Vivo.
Interesting. Interesting. That actually shocks me.
What did you think it would be?
Well, Risk of Rain as well.
I prefer Lost in Vivo.
Really. What's your least favorite game?
You weren't here for this, but when I played No Players Online, it was one of the IO games that we did. I didn't really like that.
Well, why not?
But it was quite scary at first, and it was a good concept.
Mm-hmm.
But then the game kind of explained too much of what was going on, and then suddenly the mystery's all gone, the fear of the unknown was all gone, and it was so stupid after that, to be honest. There was no point to it. So, what about you? What's your least favorite game?
Well, take a guess. It's the lowest rating on this list.
Oh, white noise too, is it?
Yeah, 100%. I would never. I can't even see myself playing that game ever. And I can't even see any situation where I would
You know what we should
gladly
do?
go and play that game.
You know what we should do?
No.
Just for the sake of it,
No.
we should find other small channels.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps someone who wants to be friends,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll get them to get white noise too, and we'll play with them.
Oh, interesting. oh no. Oh, it's gonna be so bad. Oh my god. But yeah, it would be interesting to collab with someone. Okay, I guess it's time for the outro. So
That's on you, Mo.
So this was the first ever Sloth Mole Analysis video.
We
And
can't call it that, Mo.
And definitely not the last, right? The idea is every now and then, I think like every few months.
I think every 6 months, so it'll be good.
Every 6 months, yeah, every 6 months we would essentially do this. And obviously we haven't been doing videos for 6 months, but like since it's been the end of 2019, I think we thought it was a good idea to start a new, fresh start.
Start a new fresh start.
Yeah, it's a fresh start. Start anew. So we would review all the games we did up until that point, and then we would start a new year. I guess I'll ask the question to the listeners: what's your favorite game out of all the games we've played here? And what's your least favorite? Right.
Bye.
Bye. 10 out of 10 outros.